Hello everybody, hi Vanessa. Hope you had a really good New Year's like I did. And I'm coming to you today with a book review, and it's on Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. This is the edition that I bought, but then I was like, come on, it's George Martin, I have to buy this. So what I'm doing basically is doing this for each book. I'm going to buy 2 of the editions, the mass market paperback and the hardback, and I'm gonna give out the mass market paperback when I'm done. This one already has a taker, but the Stone of Swords does not. So if you're ready, or if you're interested, sorry, and you want to read Stone of Swords and you don't have the money to buy it, just message me, and the first person to message me will get it. It's got wear and tears though, so I hope you don't mind. But just consider it me freely buying you a book and reading it first and then giving it to you. What is this book about? Well, Robert Baratheon and Eddard Stark, if you haven't read book 1, go away right now because it's a spoiler, are dead. And basically the whole land is in complete and utter chaos. It's a chaotic mess. Everybody believes that they have a right and a claim to the throne. We've got Stannis, if we're truly going by the laws of the land, who has the true claim to the throne, but he's now competing for it against Renly Baratheon, Jeffrey's Lannister Baratheon, and we've got Robb Stark, who's been proclaimed the king in the north by, you know, people, Eddard Stark's like angry fighters and houses or whatever. So yeah, so this is just like a war of the world. When kings fight, it's a brutal thing. If you're a peasant, you're probably at the bottom of the ladder and you're now at risk of just dying like this. Nobody is fair. Everybody is cruel. Everybody just is vying for bloodshed of the other party. Now we've got Daenerys Targaryen. She doesn't have much growth in this book, so beware. But yes, she's all the way on the other side of the land, and she's also fighting her way to find her way into the Seven Kingdom and take what is rightfully hers. If you've seen Dexter, way off topic here. Dexter, season 5, take it! So she tries to take what is rightfully hers. Anyways, so yeah, Arya goes through a lot of growth. Same with Tyrion, same with Bran, same with Jon, same with Theon. Theon becomes a point of view in this book. Arya, she was facing 2 decisions in book 1, and the decisions were be the queen's pawn or become an orphan boy, and she chose the latter. She became an orphan child. So we get to see the desolation of this land through her point of view. We get to see really the effects of war and the risk that the commoners are facing. And it's beautiful. The writing is swell. What can I say? George Martin's probably the best writer I've ever read. He's just got a way of like building things up, because this is what you want from a really great fantasy novel, right? You want the build up. You want things to make sense. You want the world to make sense. You want the history to make sense. And in this book, you're not lacking that. In this whole series, probably, you're not lacking that. Everything builds up, right? It's like a pyramid. And the base is solid. The point is sharp. So yeah, if just because you want a good read the freaking book. If you want like huge drama, like, I don't know, fighting, a lot of craziness and politics, well, you probably want to pick it up as well. If you enjoyed book 1, please, what are you doing? What are you wasting time for? Go pick up book 2. And what else can I say? Sansa. Okay. A lot of people hate Sansa, and a friend that I just met off of YouTube as well has videos, and she talks a lot about Sansa. Because a lot of people don't like Sansa. I'm gonna have to say, Sansa's a very interesting character, and through Sansa's point of view, we see what's going on in the the Iron Throne area. What's it called again? Whatevs. In the kingdom, we get to see what's going on. Sansa's stupid because she's young and she's an idiot, clearly, but her character also grows. She kind of starts accepting that her fairy tale does not really work as a fairy tale in the real world, and she's I can see her as a slow progression to a stupid woman, but a woman nonetheless. You know, she doesn't stay a child forever. John, on the other side of the wall, also grows to himself. He doesn't have as much action. Him and Daenerys are kind of bland a little in this book, but there's still progression in John. Not much in Daenerys, but there is a progression. Bran as well starts accepting himself for what he is. It takes him a while, but he does accept who he is, and it's very beautiful. He makes really awesome friends that I completely love, and Theon Greyjoy just becomes the more of the fucker that he is, and he's sort of that character that you just love to hate and hate to love, if that makes any sense. To kind of paint the beauty of George R.R. Martin's writing, there's this line that Theon Greyjoy says in this book, and he's talking about this character, quote unquote, and when I heard this, and when I read this, it was like late at night, like 12 a.m. and I couldn't drop the book, but I was cackling, like as loud as you can cackle, and it still makes me laugh. But he says, his lips look like two worms fucking. Now just tell me what that looks like. And those lips must be so slimy and disgusting. I hate worms. So it's just like the best thing ever. And you get a lot of that throughout the book, a lot of comic relief, you know, just hidden into a lot of the political messages, and it's just beautiful. It's really awesome. Like, you probably already know this if you're watching this right now, but this book is an adult fantasy, and it's got a lot of mature content. So, for example, you'll get scenes with Theon, you know, getting a blowjob or something, and yeah, like if you don't want that, maybe you want to skip it, or maybe you want to not read it. I would highly suggest that you do read it, because this is like my favorite novel right now, apart from this other one, which I'm going to be talking about next week, and it's another fantasy, Mistborn. So I tried one of Brandon Sanderson's fantasy novels, Warbreaker, and then I fell in love. Okay, I didn't even fall in love with fantasy after George Martin, because you don't have to be a fantasy lover to like George Martin's books. Or even Patrick Rothfuss, because you saw that I did a review on The Name of the Wind. But this guy, though, this guy is something else. He's just like, he's really fantasy. Like, he's deep fantasy. Like, you know what I mean, with the huge magic worlds, the importance of magic in his books. That's what I mean. Like, when you think of epic fantasy, all that stuff that comes to your head, the Tolkien-esque, like the magic, and like like humans don't even exist in this world, or you know, that's what you get in this book. So you get a variety of different kinds of things that you wouldn't have thought about before. Anyways, I'll be talking about this book. This is such an amazing read, and if you want to, it's about 650 pages, so if you want a quick like fantasy read, I would highly suggest, if 650 pages to you is quick, that you pick up this book, but we'll be talking about it more next week. Anyways, so like rating, how does that work? Chi-Chi, like, tell me, what do you think about George Martin's Clash of Kings? I'll give the book like a 10 out of 5, if that's possible. Like, that's how much I really like this book. The first 600 pages were slow, don't get me wrong. You're not gonna get a fast-paced novel now. But it's just, it's delicious. Like, you can taste what's happening, because his writing is so visual. His metaphors are so real and raw and just so good. And the characters, not all lovable, but the reason they do the things that they do are justified in their own minds, at least, even though it affects people around them and the world around them in a negative kind of way. It makes sense. Everything makes sense. You know what I mean? Sansa is an idiot because she's 12 years old. It makes sense. Arya is the way she is because she's a tomboy. She's ousted. She's had to learn things the other way. Theon is a fucker because he's just a fucker. I should stop swearing. I'm sorry. But I'm really, really sorry. I wish I could blur out the words that I just used. I swear like a sailor, man. But absolutely read this. It's great. It's really great. And please, if I didn't turn you off from my reviews indefinitely after this one, come back and talk to me about Mistborn. So yeah, I hope to see you guys again next week. And Vanessa, I can't wait for your reviews. And have a good Sunday night and the rest of the week. Okay, bye.